going about combating this problem with the overburdening federal government on these property raids in your area?
Well, it's a very complicated issue for many reasons. One, these municipalities have what's called tort immunities. And what that means is that all these officers, as long as they're doing their job, they're not liable for mistakes. So we're limited in a lot of ways. The system is also set up to make it very expensive. Just to do a deposition is $1,000. Attorneys are expensive, court fees, filing fees, potentially an extremely long, drawn out process. So, we've spent a lot of time and energy trying to find a way that we could really, through the law, through the courts, get some sort of justice. These guys, when this SWAT team came in, not only did they steal all our stuff and cut down our crops and put people in handcuffs, but, no amends, no apologies, even though they found nothing, even though it was obviously a total bogus.
Now, let me stop you. I heard a rumor. Did they actually send you a bill after all this took place?
Yeah, they sent us multiple fines.
Oh, wow.
On top of this whole thing. Yep.
So basically, they raided your property, and then they want you to pay for the raid, right?
Yep, they do. And
wow.
What they're wanting us to pay is a lot for us. We're talking like $5,000, but in the scheme of things, it's really very little because this raid cost them over $150,000. They had helicopters, they had unmanned drones, they had planes, 100 plus, government officials there for 10 hours. They had vehicles lining the street.
Wow.
Huge costs. And of course, what did they find? Nothing. And what did they do? All they did is destroy our crops and try to, intimidate us with that fear. So they made no amends even after they found out they were wrong. So we have now gotten a really good attorney who is, who feels inspired, who feels totally capable of being able to take this to the courts and, file a lawsuit to get amends. So that's in the works right now. It's potentially going to be a very big deal. Obviously this whole thing was an atrocity, but what I really like to do with my life is to make the best of everything.
Right.
And so while this was a total atrocity, as soon as this happened, it was totally black ops. It was totally under the radar. There was no, the city didn't talk about it. No one knew that it happened. They were trying to pretend like it didn't happen. No publicity whatsoever. No questions asked. No answering questions. No information given. So we went to the media and we created a press release. We sent it to all the media. We put it on Facebook and we said, look, this is what happened to us. We need you to contact the media and say this story needs to be covered. And that's actually what really worked for us, is we had thousands of people on Facebook that took that story and they sent it to the news stations, they sent it to online, people, and all of a sudden we started getting people that said, hey, we heard this happen, we want to do a story because so many people are saying we need to cover this story.
So multimedia actually can make a difference.
It's the best tool we have right now. It really is. And if you look at the whole Nevada thing going on right now, it's a perfect example. If it weren't for the media, people wouldn't know that it was happening. If people didn't know it was happening, people wouldn't have showed up to say this isn't okay.
People wouldn't have been outraged.
Right. And we're not going to put up with it. So in our situation, it was black ops, and there was no way, it wasn't a multi-day long event. There's no way we could, get support in the midst of it because we were all in handcuffs and lockdown. Right. But, the media is what has saved us, and it's what's protected us so far. They've tried to keep a pretty good distance from us ever since this happened because of the media attention. Everybody agrees, nationwide, worldwide, that this was a total atrocity, that it was wrong, and it all happened under the color of law. By our supposed public servants who are supposed to be serving and protecting us, and they did it with taxpayer dollars. Complete and total waste.
That's a good point you make, under the color of law. It's such a huge misconception in society.
Yeah.
This is my opinion. I think people accept law as always being honest, upholding, and honorable and ethical. But the truth is, when you actually look around the world, today, even dictators have laws. I think we really need to start examining some of the laws we have in this country. Now, there's a vicious rumor going around Dallas-Fort Worth that you're actually running for office over this thing.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true. And again, this is one of the, like I said, this was an atrocity, but this is one of the many blessings. Obviously I'm more powerful than I was before this happened. I've got a lot more worldwide support. This has been a really great example to show people of what the police states are doing, what the police power is doing, and a lot of people are waking up and saying, oh my God, if this is happening, if this is what our public servants are doing, and this is what our taxpayer dollars are being used for, this is not cool, this is not okay, we do not accept this, we do not agree with this. So the people are beginning to stand up, they're beginning to get outraged. I happened to be in a Starbucks one day, not buying coffee, but getting their trash waste coffee grounds to compost and turn into, primo compost. And Alan Patterson and John Spivey were at the Starbucks having a meeting with some other candidates, and they saw me and recognized me there, and they called me over and were like, please come over and talk to us. And we talked for like an hour and a half, amazing conversation, and they were just like, oh my God, you're the perfect libertarian, you've got all the ideals, you're living the life, that is based on all the libertarian values, you got to run for something, we got to put you in office, you've got media attention.
So what are you running for?
I'm going for Texas State Representatives District 96.
District 96.
Yeah,
which district is that?
That's like Mansfield area.
Mansfield.
It overlaps, in a couple little towns, but yeah, it's Mansfield area, Arlington, Mansfield, Kennedale area. And so yeah, that's what I'm running for. I gave a speech, a couple weeks ago,
right.
On, sort of my plans, for running and what my main purpose is and what my points are. And, my whole thing is to take this as an opportunity for more exposure, to get more truth out there, to share the truth and tell people things they haven't heard and show people things they haven't seen, and really remind people that we are the power. We, the people, are the power. And you don't have to be a politician to have power. You don't have to be in politics to have a vote. Our vote is with, our living, our daily life. And Nevada, again, is a perfect example, because it wasn't politicians that changed that. It was politicians that created the problem. It was the people that solved it. It was the people that created a solution. They came in there in their own individual capacity as we, the people, and said, this is not okay. Your de facto, under the color of law government no longer has standing here. We're trumping you. See you later. And they had to get out.
It's kind of hard to convince people to kill other people over a turtle and a cow, in my opinion. But
yeah, or over
I guess
tomato
I'm kind of
plants.
old-fashioned and haven't kept up with the modern progressive times. But Mr. Eggers, we'd like to thank you for having you on the program today, and good luck with your campaign, and more power to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Find me on Facebook, Quinn Eaker, QUINNEAKER. Also, the Garden of Eden. We've got a website, which is intothegardenofeden.com, and also a Garden of Eden Facebook page, which is the Garden of Eden Kennedale. Lots of updates, lots of powerful, knowledge and example.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Robert, for doing what you do. You're a great man.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And